I'm Susan Welch, the Dean of Liberal Arts, and I'm delighted to be the one to introduce our speaker today in this inaugural Malvin and Leah Bank Outstanding Teaching Award winner lecture. Mal Bank is a 1952 Penn State graduate with a degree in arts and letters with honors. His wife, Leah, earned an Associate Arts and Sciences degree from Penn State, raised 4 sons, and served as a volunteer in her community and her synagogue. During his time at Penn State, Mal was particularly moved by the wonderful teaching of Kent Forrester. And Mal has told me he took every course Kent offered, not because he had a particular a priori interest in the topic, but because Kent Forrester was such a wonderful and inspiring teacher. Mal was very inspired throughout his college career by Kent Forrester and really gives him a lot of credit for making his Penn State education what it was. By establishing this teaching award, Mal and Leah want to encourage other liberal arts faculty to be great teachers.
Well, one way I react to hearing Mal's story about his relationship with his teacher, Kent Forrester, is it makes me very aware that of the chance that I have to reach people at a formative time in their lives.
Eric hopes that students will learn to think sociologically about the world and continue to do so as their lives move beyond Happy Valley. He's going to speak to us today on elephants in the classroom, how I talk about difficult topics, and why. So, Eric?
Thank you, Susan. So I hear I won the award, and immediately, like within minutes after that, I'm already thinking, what am I going to say in this lecture about my teaching? What can I possibly say? And that really was the journey. This award is a journey. My goals as a teacher are captured in 2 quotes. The first quote is, "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be lit." The second quote is from Dostoevsky, and this quote is, "While nothing is easier than to denounce the evildoer, nothing is more difficult than to understand him." This quote reminds me which fire I'm trying to light. See, I want students to burn with curiosity toward the unfamiliar and toward that which they are initially inclined to reject or fear or judge. So why extreme topics? Why do I focus on extreme topics? Because I believe that if students can learn to walk an inch in the shoes of a suicide bomber or a white supremacist, they can learn to walk miles in the shoes of, and these are real examples from my students' writing, the dad who was arrested for having child pornography on his computer, the brother who was convicted of statutory rape, the mom who was arrested for stealing prescription drugs from a pharmacy after becoming addicted to them while being treated for breast cancer, the parents who divorced after the father was found having an affair, and the sister who moved to California to become a paid escort. To teach college-age students to become more aware of their judgments, the judgments that prevent them from being able to take multiple perspectives in trying to understand something, including the deviant's perspective, I use the metaphor of an elephant and a rider. The elephant represents our judgments, our stereotypes, our moral outrage, our disgust. It brings with it an overpowering urge to correct or defend. The rider represents our curiosity, our openness to learning, and our willingness to understand new perspectives. Well, I use the elephant and rider metaphor as a way of drawing students' attention to the role that their own judgments play in preventing them from opening up to learning about new things. Right? So that's really its role in my class. And I don't see it as anything special about sociology in that metaphor. I see it as a way of preparing students to encounter new things, different things. I tell students, I don't care what you think. because I don't care what you think. I care that you think, right? That's what it's about, but I don't care what you think in the end. And if you're going to agree or disagree with something, ultimately, doesn't it make a lot of sense to first understand it? After you've learned about something, you may have thoughts about it. You may even have judgments about it, and that's fine. In other words, I'm not trying to tell students not to have judgments or feelings or be for or against things. My main point is that before you do that, before you reach your conclusion, first be open to learning about the thing that you would have a conclusion about. Now remember, I'm not a master at this. I'm pointing towards something that I think we can try and attain. In that sense, the teaching transcends the teacher. In the end, I believe students learn most not from what we professors say, but from what they think and they write and they talk about in response to what we say. If my class does little more than provide fodder for a good dorm room conversation or a conversation with parents, then I'm happy. If it leads a student to open his or her mind to someone in their lives whose behavior they find troubling, well, then I'm ecstatic. Thank you, Mal and Leah, for creating this award. I think it's especially important to have an award such as this at a research university where our research productivity as faculty is the most headline-grabbing thing that we do. This award puts teaching in the spotlight and is really important to balance the signals that we send to faculty about what's important and what we value. So thank you.